Hello everyone, Pixlriffs here, welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla. This is going to be episode 2, and at long last I have decided on a place where I'm going to build my house, Pixl Manor, which is currently, as you can see, very much under construction. There is nothing here right now, but there will be. I've been planning some stuff in creative, and I've been using fancy leaf textures. Don't tell anyone. Been doing a little bit of decoration around the area. I've added in some lovely, I don't know why I'm carrying note blocks. Oh, I know why I'm carrying note blocks. That'll come up later. But yeah, I thought I would add some leaves to this area to give it more of a kind of leafy mountainside feel. Mountainsides tend to be a lot more kind of verdant than people expect them to be. You think of mountains and you think of kind of craggy rocks and stuff, but there's always moss growing out the side. There's always kind of little bushes and stuff. Somehow vegetation manages to survive in these kind of cold and remote places, and so that's kind of what I wanted to go for. I wanted to dress the area up a little bit before I started on this next project in earnest, because, Pixl Manor, it's what I'm calling it right now, it's kind of a working title, but I think it'll stick, is going to be in here, and this is what I have currently got set up for all my chests. I moved them away from where they were over near the national park, and moved them all down here. So we've got like valuables and stuff in this one. I've got a decent amount of stuff right now, a little bit low on diamonds, but I've been working on my tool set and I have some really cool stuff to show you. That one doesn't have anything in it right now. This is like a bunch of nether stuff and old tools. I do plan to frame the first tools I got because I didn't manage to save those on the last server. This is miscellaneous. The armor stands will come in useful later on, but yeah, dirt and grass, and there's a boat in there for some reason. We've got bunch of other stuff in here. I'm not going to do this chest by chest because that will take ages and I want to record some building, but there's organic stuff, there's mob drops, wood and stone and all that jazz. This is going to be the basement area. I'm actually going to completely get rid of all of this water, or maybe I'll leave a couple of blocks of it in here and there as a reminder of what this used to be. I can kind of decorate it a little more, but the main bulk of the house as I've planned it so far is going to be up here on this hillside, and it's kind of an interesting shape to build with. But I think we can make it work. It's a nice spot, to be honest. I can see Kane's house from over there. It's looking right down into where the carrot rocket landed. Mango's tree is over there. Mango. I still feel really sad that he's leaving, but he said he's going to come back every now and again for like events and stuff, so I'm sure we will see him again. It's got easy access to the centre of what's going to be town. I need some of this cactus as well. I'm going to steal some of that later on. And yeah, everything seems to be kind of centered around this area, so it's nice that I'll have a house that's in that kind of location, tucked away into this little, almost like mountain hollow sort of thing. Got a bit of depth to work with too. This is going to be my front doorstep, and it can go all the way back to here before I start tunneling into the rock, and I don't plan on doing that. I plan to kind of build around here and then up and then down. So yeah, this should be good. I will get some materials together, and I'll come back when I'm ready to start building. Okay, I think I should have enough here to get started. It's going to be a little bit choppy this episode, I will warn you right now. But first thing we can do is pop in... Oh, it's not even there. Yeah, this is this is going to be the problem. This is going to be me remembering what I've done in creative mode and trying to figure it out as we go. I need 2 pressure plates because this is going to be the doorway. I'm going to have to move this chest as well, which I won't be able to do right now. And the concern is I'm going to have to, at some point, start closing this area in so I can work on the interior, so I'll have to find another way of getting down here, but somewhere in here I had some pressure plates. Is this the redstone chest? Yes, it is. I have a respiration helmet now, by the way, so I don't have to worry about sinking to the bottom of this lake for a moment while I collect my thoughts. So spruce door is going to go right here. I figured spruce was probably the best thing to build with. It seems like it's appropriate to the local area, but this is going to be kind of a two-tone build from the outside at least, because there's 2 tones to the ground out here. If you look at it on the right-hand side of the entrance, it's going to be all stone. On the left-hand side, it's going to be all earth and grass. So I figured what I would do is build the right-hand side of the building, as we're looking at it this way, in spruce wood, and the left-hand side in dark oak wood, which we've been farming from the dark oak trees Jefferson planted over there. So I reckon that's going to turn out pretty well, and in fact, in creative, it looks pretty awesome. So I will need to move the sign for this, at least, so I can place this door, but Yeah, corner doors. I really like corner doors, actually. I think they look pretty good. I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff in my inventory before I move that chest, just so I don't have to drive myself crazy with that being there. This section here is going to be 3 wide, and then there's going to be another pillar here. As far as I can remember, I probably don't need to put it this far down, but I think I might clear around some of this area a little better so you can see the edge of the house. This is definitely going to have to go, for the moment at least. I might build some of the stone back up around it after I'm done building, but for now I think it will have to be as it is. And if this starts to remind you of the DV radio building at any point, well, for a start, thank you so much for watching my earlier videos, but secondly, you are absolutely right, because this has kind of been, at least the front part of it, has been inspired by the DV radio building from the old server. In that it's kind of the same shape I'm working with here. Like, if you look at the way the terrain is, it's kind of on an angle like it was on the circle square Ovi built on the last server. So I felt like that was probably the best thing to do, and I think the design has turned out all right. I think it has. I always miss light grey stained glass in your inventory, because look at that. That doesn't even look like there's anything there. It's just a number and a blank space. We're going to pop in some grey glass here to go with the stone, and then you saw the lime. It's not even lime green, is it? It's just regular green stained glass on the other side, and that's going to be along with all the grass over here. I did build this in an extreme hills biome in creative. I found something that was approximately the size and shape of this, so thankfully I know that all the colour palette and stuff is going to work out, because the grass here is not my favourite colour. I'll be honest, I really love the roofed forest grass colour, and jungle grass obviously has that really kind of deep green colour. But this is kind of washed out and slightly bluish, so working with a colour palette like that has been a little difficult for me, but I think I've made it work. The thing about this is it's not going to be symmetrical, and the DV radio building wasn't either, so I think I've got a decent hand in that already. There's a couple of important things. Why does that not swap over the first time? There's a couple of important features of this that I need to build correctly for it to work out, because there's definitely, like, there are sections of the build which I copy the same pattern, and if it's not symmetrical, then it's going to be difficult to do that with any success. So I'm going to swap out some dirt here, and I think it's actually okay if it starts there and then curves around here like that. And that one needs to be a corner. Oh yeah, I've broken that axe again. Good, I can start on my new axe. Oh, apparently it's not going to let me do that yet. Unbreaking tools never seem to quite be gone, and that axe is now, after another couple of hits. But yes, welcome to my new axe. This is Pixlriffs. I said before on my old series that I was going to have a pick called Pixlriffs and an axe called Pixlriffs. I never made the axe, so now I have, and it's going to work out for me pretty well. I think it's just efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3. I have a Silk Touch axe as well, because you know me and my mushrooms, but for now, we should just be fine working with efficiency and unbreaking. I think we can probably end this one here, like that. I don't have any kind of strict layout for this bit. It's just the walls and the sort of outer extremities of it that have to look fairly similar. Green stained glass, like so. And it was important to me that everything connected up, because I know glass panes have that habit of sticking out and not kind of completing when they're next to a stair block or something like that. And before I used leaves in the design, but now I've been using fancy leaves a little bit more. Now that's actually an option for me because I have a better computer setup. I don't like the fact that it looks like there is still transparency, like you can see through it. It's not sealed off properly because there'd just be a bunch of leaves in the way. So I'm trying to get away from using leaves as a transparent, as a kind of a full block, you know, treat them as though they are a little bit more insubstantial. And yeah, I'm just going to step on that pressure plate and try and open the doors because I'm a dork. Okay, yeah, so this is, I've modified the doorstep a little bit just so it makes it easier to run up here and into the water immediately. I can probably get started on the wall design over here. And this is going to require more spruce wood. Right, back to the crafting table. So the plan here is to have a repeating pattern like this. I think it worked out that way, or was it the other way around? I think it might have been the other way around, you know. Let's try them both out and see which one works. Did I just place that the same way? I think I did. It's really difficult to keep track of what I'm doing here and talk at the same time, but the way this works is you have a note block in the middle there and some polished andesite, which I don't have much of right now. I need to go and scrounge some of that off camera, but if I pop these down like that and like so, and then andesite either side, and there's going to be trapdoors covering the andesite. I'll show it with cobblestone for now, just so you get the general idea, and let's go and craft up a couple of trapdoors while we're at it. And this pattern is going to be repeated on the walls on kind of both sides of the building. So yeah, let's make 2 trapdoors. So there's going to be a kind of identical wall on the edge over there. And it actually works out pretty well for the interior as well. But if you look at that, that's quite a decent wall design. I quite like that. It means you can't play the note block as well, which is useful really, because note blocks, every time you walk past and you kind of click on them and they end up making noise. It's not the kind of thing you want as a musical house necessarily. There's going to be a stone slab on the outside there, and the armor stand, which we've got on the crafting table right now, is going to be moved up there. I'm thinking of putting some leather armor on it. I think leather armor looks a little bit better in this kind of situation, especially with the color palette we're working with. I can't get out of here now. We need some more stone brick stairs to go there, and then there's some more stone slabs. But this is basically going to be centered around the armor stand in the middle with some leather armor on it, which I can probably get from the skeleton spawner now, because I've been doing a lot of grinding off camera, and we have tons of leftover armor and bows. There are bows for days down there. And the stone bricks are going to fill in like that, so the armor stand can drop in right there. And on the opposite side of here, using spruce wood, not dark oak, we have a couple of logs going up like this, so that fills in the gap that's been left by these stone brick stairs. I want 1 cobblestone wall on top of each of those, and I think it ended up being a double stone slab like that. So if we come down here, this is already a pretty decent looking main entrance. I think that's going to be great. We'll pop the armor stand in now, and then I'll cut away and do a bunch of work off camera, because this is going to take me a little while to do everything that I've done in creative. Drop it in. Lovely. Alright, let's fill this up with some leather armor, of which we have plenty at the skeleton spawner. This is all the enchanted armor we've been getting off the skeletons. The bones are filling up. The arrows, already full. Enchanted bows, up the wazoo. Tons of regular bows as well. This place has been churning them out. But yeah, now the server is running on normal, which is great because it means we get armor from skeletons for a start. Yeah, there we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going to use Jeff's trick here now, actually. Let's pop back up here again and pop in a torch right there on that block. So that's going to be lit from the outside, and you won't be able to see it. Back inside of here, I pretty much need to clear out all of this area at ground level, so some of this is going to have to go right now, and I might get my Silk Touch pickaxe for this because I realise that I'm kind of low on stone bricks, so I need a bunch of smooth stone to be getting on with. It doesn't have a name right now. This one is King of Diamonds because it's Fortune 3. That's the Axe of Hearts. This is the Queen of Spades. Pick of the Crop is one that I've been using to harvest crops because Fortune 3 actually does really, really good crop output, and you don't end up using any durability, which is something I think Logan mentioned in an episode on the old server. But yeah, it's a trick I've seen come up on Reddit a couple of times and works wonders on stuff like carrots and potatoes, which is what I've been eating for the most part. I need to start farming cows at some point, but the community cow farm is still going strong, so we should be able to make good use of that. I have to be careful to make sure I replace torches around here before I wander off, because Core did a great job on the live stream of basically strip torching this whole area so nothing spawns at night, which is very lovely, and then you forget about it, and then one torch goes missing, and then suddenly you've got zombies. So I do need to make sure I'm lighting the place up adequately as I go. This is also going to be an opportunity to make good use of the Queen of Spades, because I do need to clear out some grass, and some Silk Touch grass would be kind of handy. I am trying to work with the terrain as best I can, but it is very difficult to build a house on steppe terrain without flattening out some of it, so this is how it's going to be. It also means I can get up to the edges here and do some work up on the higher corners of the house a little bit more easily, which is nice. Want another pillar here made of good old spruce wood, like so. It's going to be 3 tall for now. I'm going to pop on a cobblestone wall once I've made some more of those. And then I need to go mining for andesite, which I don't have a great deal of at all. So yeah, I think I only have 1 block of polished andesite and none of the regular stuff. So I will have to cut away while I do that, and I'll be back once I've got some more materials and we're ready to continue the build. Home, sweet work in progress home. Okay, I've got some polished andesite with me now, so hopefully this should go a little bit easier. We pop that in there, trapdoors over the top of it, it'll look just dandy. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the floor yet. That is one thing I did not work out in creative, so we will give it a go a little bit later on and see what I can come up with. I realise this episode is going to be running a little long, so I'm probably going to cut away for the majority of the work here, but I'm going to come back and highlight a couple of really interesting features which I like about this place, once I've actually built them, of course. Here we are again with the wall design I mentioned earlier. Let's see if I can build it the right way around this time. Only this time we're using dark oak wood, which, as you can see, is actually looking pretty good. Like, the contrast between these two and then these two, I really like. I think it's pretty sweet. So we can pop these in here like that, and another one on top there, andesite in the wall, trapdoors, and again, that's looking pretty sweet. I think we can be happy with that. This actually kind of repeats again up here with a slight variation, and then once on the inside we're going to be building a similar thing here, and then a way of getting to an upper level, because this is going to be kind of a 2-story house, give or take the basement. The basement is going to be kind of a separate thing for storage and stuff, but I'm going to plan to make this house a little bit more like it's been lived in, a bit more aesthetic than function oriented, at least on the kind of upper levels, because I'm getting a lot more into building stuff that looks like it has a kind of more real world purpose, even if it doesn't actually fulfill any kind of in-game purpose, because I just like stuff like that now. It's something that's come out of, you know, wanting to be more of a builder, wanting to be more detailed in my builds, and it's something I'd never really considered that heavily before, because I don't think I had the building skills for it, but now I kind of think I do. So I'm interested to give this a try and build something that looks like it's a little more lived in, especially if it's got a name like Pixl Manor as well, because a manor definitely feels like it should be some sort of estate home or something like that, and a manor should feel lived in, I think. Okay, I put this wall in here, again with the note blocks, again with the spruce wood stairs, and these trunks are going to separate something a little different. Now, I'm going to do something which I haven't really done before, which is dye stained clay. Most of the time I've been able to get my stained clay from a mesa biome, and we have a mesa biome on the server, but we're trying to keep it a little bit cleaner, and I don't want to just completely strip it out for resources yet, so for the time being I'm going to stick to having hardened clay and just dyeing what I need. Now this is going to be an interesting feature, and it's something a little bit different than I've done before, but this is going to be a wall that's just kind of tucked away like that. It's full of trapdoors. I'm planning on putting a redstone lamp down here, so if I grab a redstone lamp I can probably do this now. I'm the only one on the server right now, by the way, and I've been on the server quite a lot, and that really hasn't happened much. Like, it's been amazing how involved everybody is, and everyone just kind of comes in and gets on with things. But yeah, with CherryPatch on the server, we've just had so much activity. It's been really cool. I'm super happy to have been able to hang out with everybody. I think I've met a whole bunch of the people, if not all the people who are on the server at some point. I think a couple of people might be away right now in various things, so I don't know if I've met absolutely everyone yet, but I've definitely come close. I'm getting a reputation for being one of the people who's on the server all the time as well, which is kind of funny. But yeah, right now in my general life, I don't really have a great deal of other stuff to do, and it's nice to kind of mess around with this while I'm applying for jobs and stuff. Anyway, this is going to be the ladder, essentially, to the second floor, and I'm sure you've seen this trick before, but you can... Oh, I'm going to mess it up on camera. You can use trapdoors to climb up to the second floor like that, and I'm going to develop this a little bit just so there's a doorway out onto the cliff here, and it's like a back entrance, as it were. But the first thing you can do is step in here, hold down the right mouse button, and just immediately fall down. And then that puts itself away quite nicely, and I think that actually looks like something that could just be part of a wall. So it's one of those things that's got form and function, which is really what I'm into right now. There you go, that's how you do it. That's how it's done, and then back down again. So, simple as that. I'm going to install one of those on the other wall over there as well when I get around to building that. On with the build. Okay, we're back, and this is what the interior is looking like so far. Still got to fill in a couple of these, and I'm not quite sure how I want it to appear from the outside, if I'm going to fill in the stone bits there. For now, I think I'm just going to lay in a row of spruce planks. I can change them out for stairs later if I want to, but yeah, this is looking pretty complete, at least as far as the walls are concerned on this floor. There's a whole upper floor that needs to be worked on. And I still haven't quite got the hang of doing that first time, but after a couple of tries I usually get it. Yeah, I'm putting in a window here maybe. I still haven't quite worked out how this front facade is going to figure out, and that is something that I didn't manage to really nail down in creative either. So I think it'll take a little bit of tinkering, but we will get it in the end. I wanted to show you guys this as well because I wanted to vary the ceiling texture in here. These are actually pistons. I originally thought what I would do is I could put stone brick around here, have these two in the middle here for variation from the stone brick texture, and then upstairs I could decorate it with oak slabs. There we go, not bad. I could decorate it with oak slabs, and then that would blend in nicely. Unfortunately, you can't put a half slab of one type on top of a half slab of another type, so it wouldn't be flush with the floor, and you'd end up with a gap in between, and I didn't really want that. So instead what I chose to do is put the bed on the pistons, on the top of the pistons there. You can't actually place a bed on pistons either, so I had to place the bed, get rid of the blocks underneath it, and then put the pistons on. So that was a little bit more effort than I thought it would be. But yeah, once those are in, it actually looks like the bed is resting on some kind of, like, I don't know, pallet or something. So it's kind of neat. I have an idea for what's going on the top of here as well, and then we need to fill out the rest of this floor space so it can be larger. I did install a back door, although that section doesn't have a roof on yet, and this still needs a little bit of work on the outside to make it look good. I also wanted to have access to up here. I don't quite know what I'm going to do with this space yet. I may even turn this into like a little farm area or something, somewhere I can grow like a little potato garden or something, because I have my potato garden over there still I ought to be getting rid of at some point, because somebody else might want to build over there and I don't want to intrude on their space. Had a couple of creepers come down from the mountaintop as well, so I've been a little bit wary. I've got my bow on the hotbar just in case they come and knock in, because when a creeper knocks it usually wants to explode, and I do not want to blow up any of this right now because I've put a lot of effort into it. Oh yes, and I still need to stop the basement from being permanently flooded, so I'll work on that shortly. I think that's all I wanted to cover for this little session. We'll be back when I've made a little bit more progress. Okay, welcome back. We have a roof going on over here, and this is the first of many roofs that are going to be featured in this structure, but I'm pretty sure this one is going to plan. It's going to be kind of like, almost like a steeple, I guess, except I couldn't really get a steeple to look good on a build this size, because to get the amount of detail that you need in a steeple and the kind of angle and stuff, it has to be pretty large. So this was the closest I could manage. If you can hear a bunch of kids screaming outside, it's because it's warm out and the ice cream van is here. But there you go. This is looking all right. I'm quite pleased with it. Hello, we have a visitor coming down from the mountains. And my bow is called Temperance, by the way. It's named after a tarot card. I don't know why I chose that, but the others were all cards, so I figured that was an appropriate name. Sounded like a bow name anyway. There you go. The lever on here is activating a redstone lamp that's underneath here. I figured that was probably the best way to do it. And with the lever on the back like that, you won't see it that often. I also plan on dressing up the towers a little bit with some more spruce and oak leaves, just to make it look a little bit cooler, a little bit more overgrown. I'm probably going to stick some leaves around the back here as well, because this is the only bit where, because you can't put two trapdoors on the same in the same space, I can't really do the same wall pattern there as I had elsewhere. So I reckon a few more leaves around there and we'll be good to go. Wispade is online with me. He's just logged in and apparently found a bill from Core for some creeper damage that was done over at Bear's Watch. I have no idea what that's about. It's entirely possible that Core is starting the flim-flam on the server nice and early. So if we hear anything more about that, I will update you. But for now, I'm going to add in a couple of armor stands up here, and then I think I'll probably call it a day for this episode, because I've been going on too long, and I like to keep you guys in suspense for what the next episode is going to hold, which I'm pretty sure will include my new banner design. I really wanted to put it out this episode, but this build has taken me a little bit longer than I expected, so I feel like it's time to quit while we're ahead. and I can get the rest of this build finished off camera. Now, this trick with armor stands is something I came up with in creative and has probably been done before, because a lot of people spend a lot of time messing around with armor stands, but I'm pretty keen on it. I think it's good, and what we'll need is a couple of pistons as well, so I'll just grab some of those. There's a couple of spots in the corners here which I want to fill up with some armor stands. Wisp needs 2 planks worth of dark oak, so I invited him to come over to Freehaven, but I'm not sure he's willing to go that far just for a couple of planks. Now, this is kind of a fun trick which I came up with. The armor stand is resting a half slab down, which is convenient for the purposes of this trick, because what I'm going to try and do is make it look like this armor stand... Oh, he is coming over, cool. Armor stand is shackled to the wall over here. Now, armor stands get pushed into corners very easily, which is useful in this case, because you can make it look like it's been kind of shoved over into the back there, and it changes the position. 8 iron for a couple of dark oak, okay. And once you've got this in position, all you need to do is set up another piston with some iron frame next to it, and bam! That has more or less shackled the armor stand to the wall. And now what we're going to do is dress this up with some armor on it. I don't have it on me right now because my inventory is full of stuff, but I think we'll grab a gold one and maybe a leather one for the front, and then yeah, these will look like pretty neat little ornaments along the side, and as far as I'm aware, those will actually stay right there where we want them, so I reckon that's a good job done. Okay, I think we can reach from here, can't we? Let's pop these on. Had to steal the boots off of a armor stand that was already in the spawner. Oh, hello, there we go. That's what we need to do. Awesome, so that still looks kind of like it's tied to the wall, but is a little bit less obvious, and also kind of an interesting position for that armor stand to be in. But yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. Maybe we'll go with leather all the way around, because there is a leather one out the front, but if we can get some basic armor that doesn't have the enchantment on, because I don't really like the enchantment sheen on the armor stands as they're just sat around. Anyway, I'm going to continue working on this on camera just so the video doesn't end up being 3 hours long. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Decidedly Vanilla. My name is Pixlriffs. Pixl Manor is still under construction, but hopefully by the next episode you'll be able to see that, plus the new banner design. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.